everyone, I'm Leon Thomas here with Miranda Kitterlin Lynch. You're here for another episode of Checking In. Hi, Miranda. How are you?
All good, Leon. How are you? Tell me some good things. Tell me racquetball, sports, etc.
Well, racquetball is great. I think we mentioned a couple of weeks ago that 8 of our players are now sponsored by the premier racquetball manufacturer called Gearbox. So our kids get equipment from Gearbox, professional rackets, bags, socks, gloves, eye guards, the whole thing.
That's incredible. And while we're talking about it, if you could just share with everybody who may have missed it what exactly this is, because we say racquetball all the time,
Yep.
but what you're really doing is so much bigger than that. And with the holiday season approaching, I know many people are looking for opportunities to give back. So maybe just share a little bit more quickly and then how somebody could support what you guys are doing.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Miranda. Our racquetball program in Baltimore is called Racquetball Revival. If you go to our website, racquetballrevival.com, you can learn about our program, but it's way more than racquetball. We offer tutoring in English, Spanish, science, and math. Kids come to learn how to play racquetball, but we also offer services on the academic side, as well as other things that parents and families may need. We've now assisted 3 families avoid eviction, 2 avoid foreclosure. And so we do a lot of things to help the kids and to help their families. If you go to Racquetball Revival, the website, racquetballrevival.com, you can learn about the program, and there's a button at the top that says donate. And you can donate right there to help us do what we're doing in Baltimore. And our kids don't pay for the program. Families don't pay. It's a completely free program for everyone that participates.
Amazing. Amazing. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. And tell us, so we're recording now a couple of days before Thanksgiving. And so is this an off week academically for you? And what plans do you have?
Well, my children are off this week, and so they're here with us in the studio. You'll probably hear them in the background. And we will be traveling to see family. Of course, I'll be making mac and cheese. Thanks to thanks to our good friend of the show, Kathy Martin, for teaching me how to do it better. And how about you guys? Is your son going to be cooking?
Yes, Aaron, the chef in the family, will be cooking, as will Joel, the wannabe chef in the family, and they're both pretty good. And my wife will be making her macaroni and cheese, and I will be making the run to Safeway to get bean pie. And we'll talk about bean pie later. I'll be making the run to Safeway to get bean pie. So that's the story there. We'll have a great Thanksgiving.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, who's going to join us today to share some cool stuff?
Yeah, let's bring Greg DeShields and Sean Mary on. Greg and Sean, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. Hi, welcome.
How are you? Perfect.
Awesome. Greg, I know that you've been on this show before, but you've been doing so many things since then. I'm so excited to catch everybody up on all the things that you're doing. Sean, I'm excited to see what's happening. So yeah, do you guys want to start off by just sharing with our listeners a little bit about who you are and what you do, and then we'll jump into it?
Sure. Since I've been on the program, I'm going to defer to you, Sean. You could go first, and then I'll follow.
Greg, I truly appreciate that. Miranda and Leon, thank you so much for inviting both of us to the actual show. So my name is Sean Andre Murray. I'm the founder of the Tourism and Hospitality Management Program at Montgomery County Community College. I also am a associate professor at the actual college itself. I also teach in the Chaplain School at Florida International University, travel and tourism. Just really excited to be here and getting started with the conversation.
Amazing.
And thank you once again for the invitation to be a part of your podcast. As you know, I also produce a podcast, Something to Say with Greg DeShields, which is in our 2nd season. Still waiting to get the final determination since we were voted for one of the best podcasts this year. We won't find out until the end of December. But in the interim, I've had a great opportunity to further evolve my consulting practice, Greg DeShields Consulting. And what's been very amazing about that is the ability to collaborate. We've done some educational programs with the National Association of Black Hotel Owners, Operators, and Developers. And Sean just recently, along with myself, did a project with the National Coalition of Black Meeting Professionals in Portland. And we'll talk more about that. Two quick things. I don't play the piano. It's just my background. But one thing I will tell you is unique. Sean knows I have been doing substitute work in the elementary school space. So for all the work that I've done in adults and certainly working with young college students, working with kindergarten and first grade has been an amazing experience for me. So maybe we can talk a little bit more about what that means, but I'm thrilled to be here today.
That is very impressive. Very impressive. I volunteer at my daughter's elementary school very regularly, and I have no idea how anyone can handle that many young kids. So, yeah.
Just make sure you get as many vaccines as possible because they all are sick all the time.
Absolutely. Well, do you guys want to tell us a little bit about any new projects you have going on? Any exciting news to share?
I mean, I'll launch it, and Sean, certainly you can dive in deep. So, Sean and I have been involved with the National Association of Black Hotel Owners, Operators, and Developers Education Committee for quite some time. We launched some efforts to enhance the rigor and, quite frankly, the overall academic experience that students would have when they go to a conference. So we came up with curriculum that allowed students to dive deeper in understanding, in the case of NABHOOD, what it means to develop a hotel. So we came up with the curriculum as well as a case study capstone activity where the students would develop a hotel. It was an incredible experience because we had 5 teams that competed to come up with brands and locations and all the product offerings. It was, without a doubt, a fantastic experience. Most recently, though, I've been working with the National Coalition of Black Meeting Professionals. They host a scholars group of 10 students from HBCUs across the country. They wanted to create an academic curriculum in advance of their conference in November. So we built the curriculum that actually started in July. It was asynchronous. It required the students to visit the LMS system Canvas weekly for assignments, similar as they would in any of your academic institutions. And then we wrapped up that part of their curriculum in October. It was a balance between information about being a business professional who produces meetings, while also giving them significant information about Black history in the meetings in the tourism industry. And that was, I think, the cornerstone of what made it so unique. And of course, we just did the capstone exercise. I'd love to chat a lot about it, but Sean was very integral in it. So Sean, why don't you pick up and talk about, from both NABHOOD, but the capstone that we did with Coalition.
Thanks, Greg. In both organizations, NABHOOD and Coalition, provided some amazing opportunities for us to really change the landscape and enhance the learning and career preparation for corporate America for the students from the HBCUs, along with other universities up and down the East Coast in the actual Caribbean. Why don't I tell you off and start with the NABHOOD conference first? For NABHOOD, that was a really amazing experience of being able to see the overall integration of students from top universities such as Temple University or Boston University or Cornell collaborate with students from HBCUs, along with from a few institutions from an academic perspective in the actual Caribbean itself. That was really cool, seeing the students build their partnerships, relationships, and really learn in an integrated, strategic manner the interconnections of hotel ownership and the business of hospitality and tourism. As for Coalition, much smaller group, but really being able to plant the seeds of how college students from HBCUs can take what they're learning in the classroom and integrate that into a real live meeting event professional and some of the tasks and duties, looking at strategic foresight along with how to execute a run of show and proposal for a real life event.
That's incredible. And out of curiosity, how did you get support and or did you get support to do this, and where from, and how did you go about it? Because I can see that you're filling a need, right? A very valuable need. And I think that sometimes people have ideas and see, oh, there's a need to be filled, but I don't even know how to get started. So I guess, how'd you do it?
Well, I'll tell you this much. In terms of industry, there is, I think, in today's climate, a desire to continue to enhance the intellectual knowledge of our industry while having a cultural connection to it. And to that degree, organizations like NABHOOD and the Coalition of Black Media Professionals really sought out a way to build upon the existing programs that they have. While both organizations have the ability to support us in a variety of different ways, we certainly look to a time where there may be more corporate support around this, because the reality of it is that while we do an excellent job of educating our students while they're in class, it's that reality learning lab experience that they have that really helps distinguish them as business professionals. And these connections at these annual conferences provide not just the academic experience and hands-on experience, but the connection with industry professionals to somewhat validate all that has been prepared. We know that after the most recent project that we had with Coalition, that they were able to get more corporate support with their program for next year. So we're anxious to see that develop even that much more. But given the flexibility of the curriculum, we could do it for a variety of other organizations. And we're hoping that we can get the word out. And that's why we're so thrilled that we're able to be a part of this podcast today to share more of that information.
Amazing. Leon?
I think it's great what both of you are doing collectively, but also in your individual avenues. It opens folks' minds to see you doing things, and it also lets everyone know of the opportunities that are available in hospitality. And one of the things that I think for years we struggled with in hospitality was those students that are in high school thinking about what they want to study in college, and the hospitality industry seems like it was always something that folks shied away from. You don't want to go into the hotel business. You don't want to go into restaurants because there's nothing there. But you've taken it a step further. You've gone into development. I mean, more than just get a job, check them in, check them out, manage. You're talking about building, developing something on a much larger scale that not many others are doing. So I applaud you for that. Yeah, this is good stuff what y'all are doing together. Now, how do we get folks that are in high school and early in college, maybe that freshman and sophomore year, to see that the hospitality industry and the hotel business is something that's viable, to get more people involved? How do we do that?
Leon, there are a couple of models, and I should also share that over the last year, personally, I've launched a executive leadership certificate that I am working on building out here in the United States, but have had some amazing success internationally. So I first launched this certificate earlier this fall in South Africa, and I worked with students that were sophomores, juniors, and seniors, and a few first semester graduate students at Cape Peninsula University in Cape Town, South Africa. And this is sort of twofold. First, it is introducing the business of hospitality and tourism to a wide range audience of students, but also is sort of threading the needle with leadership also. And I really believe looking at leadership, looking at analytics, looking at business in general, but also incorporating the business of hospitality and tourism into the actual curriculum and experience provides a really nice opportunity to expose a wider range of not only high school students, but maybe undecided college students to the value proposition of our actual industry itself.
You know, one thing I would also add to, Sean's remarks is the entrepreneurial initiative that, I've established through Greg DeShields Consulting allows for us to engage the participation of high school students, college students, workforce development programs in a way that's been very different. A lot of times you have to be connected with some program that may have a variety of different priorities that may limit their ability to be there. Both Sean and I have been in front of a classroom, have recruited students, have certainly been thought leaders and spoke about these issues in the industry. It's really quite refreshing to be untethered and to be able to be very focused around things that we have always known are truly important, to be in front of the students, quite honestly, to provide them role models. I think amongst the things that was most impactful for those students were, number one, to see two Black males coming together to help produce a quality program that challenged them in order to become even that much more impactful professionals. And I think that's one of the reasons why I really enjoy working with Sean, because we both have a similar perspective about what we know have been best practices and how we are able to present those in a way that doesn't have to be filtered in order to provide the biggest impact for students. And I think certainly the work we've done with Coalition and NABHOOD is a beginning, but we'd love to see it expand with other organizations. And quite honestly, spend the next year being able to get into classrooms, talk to some of the students, talk to them about the work that we've done, the organizations we've done it for, and encourage them to apply for those opportunities because they could be great for them.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll tell you what, folks, if you're not familiar with Sean and Greg, I'll just put it this way, look them up. All right. We're talking serious hotel professionals and educators that can bring the combination of education and real world experience. Greg, you and I first met maybe 4 or 5 years ago on a Zoom meeting when you were helping me navigate through some things for my business. And Sean, you and I spent some time together at NABHOOD several years ago. And when I was with Choice Hotels, we actually met and had dinner and a meeting at one of the Choice conferences. So, and I've had time to talk with both of them. Listen, y'all, you got to look them up. These are serious, knowledgeable hotel people that are doing some great things here. And I'm proud. Listen, not only that you're doing it, but I'm proud to see 2 Black men doing what you're doing. Thank you for what you're doing, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Leon.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean, I was just checking out your LinkedIn also, because I want to make sure we're connected, of course. And I was looking through, you've done so many cool things in the industry and in the academic arena. What drew you to this area? I know that Leon and I were not supposed to be hospitality people. He's supposed to be coaching basketball. I'm supposed to be a genetic engineer.
At UCLA.
That's an amazing question to ask. Yeah. So I really think it narrows down to just I've always had, even when I was young, a passion to help people. Whether it was, I'm thinking when I played sports, volleyball and basketball in high school and college, I always wanted to be the person that was passing the ball. I never wanted to kind of take the credit for the success, what was happening around me. And I really have found this niche about 20 years ago, working as a college professor, the ability to really influence, impact, train, and develop the next generation of overall leaders. And it's really about just, having a altruistic love for just a community, humanity. And I think to really narrow down the response for your question, I found out a few years out of college, I was working as a leader for the Capital Grille steakhouse chain at the time. And that's when Capital Grille was a very small company with 10 restaurants. You had to work like 90 hours a week, right? Like back in the day. But I figured out that human resources was really a niche that I gravitated towards. And for me, it really was about the value proposition opportunity to not lead people, but actually employ people from the community that I grew up in. And I just saw a magical connection there to be able to provide like life-changing opportunities within the hotel and restaurant space.
Amazing. Yeah, it really is. We get such an incredible honor to be able to help people early in their careers or during career change. Yeah, it's an honor I don't take lightly. And Greg, remind us how you found yourself here. Did you always know that you were going to be a hospitality person?
It's funny, I told the story when I was in high school. I was in what was called the KYW News Study program, which was meant to take individuals who had a desire to go into journalism through a semester of working with a close news studies program. I did that, and I spoke to one of my advisors because when they had a guest speaker who was Black, who came in, and I said I wanted to be a journalist, he said, well, you need to find another industry because there's no money for Black journalists in this field. Although I've kept the love for that, when I spoke to my advisor when I was in high school, he asked me what I wanted to do, and the only thing I could think of other than writing was eating. And that's when he referred me to Johnson & Wales, and it was all written there. Once I got to Johnson & Wales, I truly found my passion. I had a professor, Peter Van Cleet, who was the most amazing individual and was as fundamentally woven into the industry as possible. And he passed that on to us as students. And for me, it allowed me to see where my passion is. And it is completely in the hospitality industry, mainly in hotels. If I could stand to take a picture in front of a hotel every day, I would. But it's always been a woven part. But what I've also liked is the fact that I can integrate my passion about writing into being able to articulate this particular industry and the experiences in this particular industry. So that's how I fell in love with it. Johnson & Wales is without any doubt the best place to go to get your inspiration and determine your passion. And it's always stuck with me from graduation.
Amazing. Can I ask a fun question, Leon, before we continue?
Oh, right on. Go ahead.
Okay, so speaking of food, right, which I think is a great unifier, what are you guys doing? What is your meal? What were you assigned for the Thanksgiving holiday?
Sean, you want to go first?
Yes, Greg, I definitely will. So before I jump into what I'm assigned to make, I need to also share that I also attended Johnson Wales University, and that was one of the first connection points that Greg and I had many, many years ago when we actually met. So Thanksgiving this year is a little bit complicated. My wonderful partner, Kiara, she lives in South Florida and is actually traveling a few days after Thanksgiving for us to spend some time together. So her favorite dish is lobster risotto. So I'll be making that on the Saturday after Thanksgiving for her, but for the charge of the dressing or stuff this year. And I have this really cool recipe where I have some oysters, some roasted almonds, some caramelized carrots, and it's going to be really more like some bread and cornbread sort of mixed together. So I'm really looking forward to putting that dish together.
That all sounds really good. Greg?
Well, mine is a little bit more traditional. I mean, we are hosting about 10 people. I am as old school as it goes. So yes, collard greens. And I would get into the whole formula, but I will say it's about as soulful as it could possibly be. Turkey, ham, macaroni and cheese with bacon, just so you know. And I think one of the most unique parts I'll add is some sauteed shrimp. We've been doing that the past few years, and it's been really tasty. So I'm looking forward to it. My husband and I have actually split up the list. He has a lot of the vegetables and things like that, but I carry the heavy weight of all the most traditional stuff that you look for.
So now you said collard greens. What do you season them collard greens with? Are you using fatback? What are you using fatback? What are you using to season them with?
Let me start. You need smoked turkey wings. Turkey wings.
Turkey. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And then you need peppers, onion, and of course you have to put some vinegar and you have to put some sugar in it as well. And then you also need to obviously boil it until it gets to a certain flavor, and then of course hot sauce to make sure it comes out as well as it needs to. Now I would put like smoked turkey neck or not turkey neck, pig's foot in it, but that's a whole different story. We don't want to get into any of that stuff.
Man, you're trying to kill people talking about putting some smoked pig feet. Man, you're giving everybody high blood pressure, man.
Listen, you only do it once a year. So.
You don't have to eat the whole pot.
Like I'm making
wow. That'd be some strong pot liquor. Right on. I
I'm
like
making
it.
one dish this year. I feel like I need to step my game up. Definitely.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, yep, both of you attended Johnson and Wales. So did my oldest son, Aaron. He went to Johnson Wales down at the North Miami campus,
okay.
and he still works in the industry. Works for Autumn Lake Healthcare as a dietitian or something. I don't know what it is. I mean, he's everything's fine. He's doing good. He goes to work. He calls me. Everything's good. So that's cool. Miranda, ready to go to the signature questions?
Absolutely.
It's now time for the signature questions of the show. Now, Greg, when you were on checking in previously, did we have signature questions when you were with us before?
You did, but I'll be honest, the production wasn't as impressive as it is right now.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
We have an even new thing to throw at you because I think we say 2 signature questions.
Yes.
Leon doesn't want to redo the video. It's really 3 signature questions.
There's 3. And thank you to our producer, Oren Stewart, for handling things in the background. Thank you. So kind of food related, right? There are 3 questions. And let's start with Sean first. All right. So Sean, I know where you live. The first one has got to be, these 2 both should be gimme questions. These are softball questions for you, Sean. Have you ever had a Maryland crab cake? Greg, this is a softball question for you too. Sean, go ahead. Have you ever had a Maryland crab cake?
I have had the Maryland crab cake several times growing up in Philadelphia and being so close to Baltimore and Maryland. And it is just the most amazing dish that I love. And what's even interesting, what I love about the Maryland crab cake, I like to have it with the stuffed shrimp or the stuffed lobster tail. That is like my favorite to do with the Maryland crab cake.
Where did you get a Maryland crab cake? Where have you had a Maryland crab cake?
Meaning what establishment or what city?
Yeah, well, yeah, both. Where?
So I'm definitely going to say Baltimore.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, without a doubt, pre-COVID, there is when the last time I was in Baltimore, pre-COVID, I stayed at one of the boutique hotels downtown. I think the front desk agent directed me to just this little like hole in a wall spot, and I forget the name of the actual location, but it was awesome. But I would say second place, a little bit more fancier, was the Prime Rib restaurant. And just had a really fabulous Maryland crab cake there as an appetizer, and just definitely is one of my favorite dishes.
Now, I must admit, when you and I had dinner in Philadelphia, wherever we went, I had a Maryland crab cake in Philly. I remember having it. I think we had some discussion about how good the Maryland crab cake would be at that restaurant in Philadelphia. I recall that.
We did. I remember I took you to Del Fresco's.
Yes,
and that is
there you
where
go.
we had their crab cake, and it was fabulous.
Yeah, it was. Greg, what about you? You've had a Maryland crab cake before.
I certainly have. It kind of escapes me, but there was the seafood restaurant that was down on the waterfront in Baltimore. Was it Fisher's?
Phillips. How about Phillips? Is that
yes,
it?
Yes. Yeah. I think it was the first place I had it, but of course I've had it as appetizer, as entree, and just about any place because I love crabs. So absolutely.
All right. So everything's good there so far. You both can stay on the show. We're good. We once had a guest who in pre-show said, "Oh, I love Maryland crab cakes. Where'd you get it?" And he tells me some restaurant in a rib joint in Kansas City. I'm like, shut up. That's not a Maryland crab cake, right? That doesn't count. All right. Let's go now. Let's talk desserts. Greg, bean pie. Have you ever had bean pie?
I have. And, when you were talking about bean pie, growing up in Philly, because, we had a strong a representation of people who certainly represented, a faith where, well, I'll just put it to you this way. Bean pies were not something that you could not agree to eat. So there used to be these brothers who were dressed in suits, and they'd had a bean pie, and they had a paper, and they would be on the Broad Street subway, and they were pretty forceful about buying a pie and a paper. So.
Buying a bean pie with the final call, the Nation of Islam. Yes, yes.
That's it.
All right, Sean, bean pie.
Growing up in Philadelphia, many times I've had a bean pie. I've actually have made bean pie a few times, but I add a little molasses to the recipe, and it just sort of pulls it all together, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Miranda, did you hear this?
A bean pie.
I'm sorry,
Miranda. I'll make you a bean pie also if you need one.
Listen, please make one for Miranda. She's been on the show. She once told the guest, she once said this on a show. She said, bean pie doesn't exist. It's kind of like Bigfoot. I've heard about it, but I've never actually seen it. This is documented. Miranda, you heard Greg and Sean.
I hear I'm leaning closer and closer.
But I should also say, and Sean, you can confirm it. Like in Philly, a lot of times when the brothers would sell them on the street, they were just small pies. They weren't big pies. They were just really small, easy to eat pies. So.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah, that needs to be my first experience with bean pie. I want the authentic experience, the authentic product. I don't want to go to Safeway and buy it.
Well, we got an invitation from Sean Tibbetts, a recent guest on our show, who's the director of education for AHOA. AHOA-Con is in Philadelphia in 2026, next year. So, Greg, Sean, and I will take you to get an authentic bean pie.
I love it.
The plan. I love it.
There you go.
All right, I'll wrap us up with my final question for you, which is, if you could go back and give your 20-year-old self one piece of advice, pearl of wisdom, affirmation, anything, what would it be? Greg, do you want to start?
Sure. One of the things that, and I may have shared it when I was on your podcast before, is, for me and my career, I think, I come from a generation where you certainly invested your future and your growth in the employer, that they would see the talent and they would move you. And unfortunately, I think that serves as a bit of a disadvantage, especially if you feel that you have the capacity to move on. And it wasn't until maybe mid-career where I had that confidence. I will also say, especially as I look at things today, it's important to not overstay your welcome. And I don't say that you can lose your ability to contribute, but I think there's so much more you can do if you provide yourself with more of a limited window of how long you're going to stay. So certainly learn your craft, enhance your craft, make deliverables for your organization and move on. So maybe it's more of a realistic 6 to 7 year window, and use that as how you evolve your career. And I would have said that to myself in so many important ways, and maintain that as a commitment, because, your career and your life can change in a blink. And when I say change, it's just how time passes, and investing 15, 14, 20 years in a place doesn't leave you a lot of window of choices of where you could go. But maybe if you began your career with a more committed appreciation of how valuable time is and how limited time is, that you can make even that much more of an impact, and certainly feel more career fulfilled.
I love that take, because historically we hear work hard, stay with one company, get the 50-year-old watch, right? And that truly is not the case anymore for many industries, many people, et cetera. So yeah, I love that fresh take. Thank you. Sean, how about you?
I think such an amazing question. 20-year-old self. There are 3 points that I think about often and also share with my students. First, definitely 100% understand how the stock market works, being able to stay in a moment and not being afraid to fall in love.
That is really poetic. That's beautiful. I love that. I love that. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Before we let you go, do you want to just shout out again the program that you guys have put together, how people can get more information?
So the program is called Bridging Academia to Industry. If you visit our website at gregdeshieldsconsulting.com, it'll take you directly to the summary of projects, both outlining the NAPUD, but a deeper dive in the work that we have done with Coalition. More to come in terms of that, but we'd love for individuals to connect with us to talk about how we can be even that much more engaged.
Fantastic.
Right on. Greg and Sean, thank you. Thank you both for being here. But more importantly, thank you for what you're doing. You're doing valuable work that's going to have an impact, already has had impact on others. And that's what we need more of. Thank you both. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Miranda, they're doing some great work.
I know, amazing. That's
Yeah.
the biggest benefit, I think, other than chatting with you every time we do the show, is learning more and more about all the cool things people are doing out there.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And they, you know, folks, if you know of individuals that are doing great things or collaborations like Sean and Greg's that are doing great things, let us know. We want to highlight them here on Checking In. You can send me an email. That's Leon at leonthomasgroup.com, or you can contact Miranda.
Just Google me. I'm the only one you're going to find.
Right on. So that's how you can be on the show, even if you're doing something great. I don't want to brag about myself. I want to talk about you're doing something to help somebody or something great in the business. Let us know. You need to be on the show so we can help spread the word about what you're doing.
Absolutely.
All right. Miranda, thanks again for another great show. I appreciate our partnership here, and looking forward to many more shows to come. We have some other folks that we're working on scheduling right now, so we'll have more episodes coming out. And I also want to thank our producer, Orrin Stewart, for handling things in the background. Thank you, Orrin.
Absolutely. Thank you. Everybody have a safe and happy holiday season. Until next time.